Welcome to Death Metal, right here at Comicstorian, where we read your comic books dramatically back to you by narrating them, allowing you to keep up like it's an audio drama. Death Metal is the continuation to DC Metal and what has happened with the Justice League. Basically, in DC Metal, we discovered that there's a dark multiverse in an evil Batman. In the Justice League comic, we discovered that there is Perpetua, an evil being who is trying to rewrite the multiverse. And in the final battle, the Justice League seemingly lost. This continues that storyline, but before we get into this book, guys, I do want to tell you, we are coming out of a pandemic right now, and this is the first big event that DC is putting out. If you want to help the industry recover from the pandemic, you want to make sure that your favorite comic books never end, then go to Comicsology, click the link, buy this issue yourself, go to your favorite comic book store, buy this issue yourself. It's the best way to help this stuff happen. It's the best way to keep this industry going. And if you do like this type of content, consider getting a like on this video. But let's pick up a short time after the loss of the Justice League. A rumble in the dark and the light clicks on. Sergeant Rock stands there smoking a pack of cigarettes, smiling. Well, look who it is. I told him you'd show up. Someone tells him to hurry up, but he yells, "You gotta be quiet." He lets the person know that the battle is raging, that they've got a real turd burger topside. Another blast. It's like you're at a drive-thru and out comes a juicy half-pounder with curly fries, and you bite into it, bam, turd. And your fries, kablam, curly turds. He tells him. But Rock smiles, telling the person to take that burger and shove it down the waiter's throat. "Because we're still fighting back," he tells them, holding up a massive rifle. "And we're gonna have some fun doing it. Hoorah!" In the realm of the DCU, Wonder Woman lowers her whirling chainsaw, sparks flying, reflecting and illuminating her wielder's goggles. A voice calls out, gaining her attention. "I bring news," Swamp Thing tells her, his body smoking and smoldering. "Well, good or bad?" she asks, pulling down the goggles and staring at her friend. Alec looks at her, telling her, "He's bringing a prisoner." "Huh, I didn't know there were any villains left in the world above to imprison here," Diana notes, but Swamp Thing stares solemnly up at the ceiling. "Oh, I can think of a few hundred at least. Pointy ears, bats on their chest," he tells his friend. Wonder Woman asks who are they bringing, but Alec isn't sure. "It's someone important. He has muscle with him. I sense 3 bats," he tells her. Diana is shocked at who could warrant such a guard. They walk out of the chamber, leaving her chainsaw idle and the invisible jet waiting quietly. Donning her full regalia, Wonder Woman walks through the prison, bringing cries of freedom from the villains in prison there. Even the Joker leans out of his cell with bat-shaped sunglasses on his face. "Psst, Wonder Woman, I think you're doing a bang-up job," he smiles at her. Alec pulls out the vines, grasping the glasses, ripping them off his face. "Joker, where did you get these? You know that the symbol is forbidden to all except his dark knights. If they catch you, they'll throw you in the pits." He snaps angrily, but Joker begins to cackle. "Go ahead. The world up there is ruled by Batmen. Down here is paradise to me." He laughs. Arriving at the entrance hall, Diana is greeting the 3 Batmen that stand waiting. Batmage holds up the chain to their cloaked and hooded prisoner, while the others wait quietly. "Diana, you're late," Batmage notes. Diana nods, telling them that she would never receive them without her full regalia. She tells the mage that they are running out of cells, asking where he expects her to put this one. "Oh, this one isn't going in a cell. Open the pits directly," Batmage tells her. "The pits? Who the hell are you asking me to lock up?" she asks. Bat Rex steps forward, a massive T-Rex that shares Batman's color scheme. "Do as you're told, or it'll be your sister screaming in the pits," he roars at her, but the beast does not frighten Diana. "Speak of my sisters again, reptile," she warns. Bat Rex huffs, telling her that he is Batman, and she nods, knowing the story of how, in his world, Batman uploaded his consciousness to the robot dinosaur in the Batcave. "Can you throw batarangs with those tiny little arms?" she asks. Bat Rex pauses for a moment. "They're proportional and I'm working on it," he tells her. Alec finally steps forward, calming everyone, and Diana finally opens up the pits, allowing the prisoner to enter. That mage nods, telling her that their lord has called for a meeting at Castle Bat, and she is to attend. As the prisoner passes her, he looks up from the hood. "Diana, remember," he whispers, and her eyes go wide with shock as she steps forward, but Batmage is there telling her that they don't want to be late for their master. Castle Bat, located on the site of an ancient park. Bruce remembers when his father would bring him there as a child. It's a place where the colonists of Gotham fought against the British. They called themselves the Deadbeats, and they were all killed for their crimes. The Robins all look down with their twisted smiles from their perches, sharp teeth and hungry eyes glowing in the night. Overhead, Joker dragons are swooping and diving into the red-hued night air, and the Batman Who Laughs looks at all of those that have gathered, knowing that they are sick of him. But he laughs, as they know that if they didn't arrive, he would kill them all. "Tell me, have there been any captures in your territories?" he asks. First, he turns to Harley Quinn, Hunter of the Wastelands, accompanied by Dr. Arkham and her hyenas and giant bats. Yet she shakes her head. "Aquaman, commander of the Black Fleet," and Aquaman tells him nay. He turns to Diana and Batmage, informing the warden that the new prisoner is not to be messed with. "Understood," Diana nods. He turns last to Mr. Miracle, clad in chains that even he can't break free of. "Superman has almost succumbed to the anti-life equation," Miracle notes, with an image of the Man of Steel appearing before them. Batman Who Laughs congratulates his Justice League on a job well done, informing them that Perpetua has destroyed another world, killing off Earth 22. Only 8 of the multiverses remain. As Batman continues his speech, Diana suddenly hears a voice in her head. The voice of the one true Batman. "Diana, can you hear me?" he asks. She questions how he's able to do this, and Batman tells her, "I made my own version of Jean's telepathic link years ago. I know that you just melted down your invisible jet, that you want to use it to create armor that will hide us. We can use that to infiltrate the castle, use the Batman Who Laughs tech to hide a world from Perpetua," Batman tells her. But Diana doesn't know. She believes that they should just fight back to get all of the worlds back. And Batman's voice is still in her mind, telling her that they need to save whoever's left. That's all they can do. "Lost in the thought?" the Batman Who Laughs suddenly asks her, bringing her back to the group, and he smiles, telling her, "In some worlds, you and Bruce are lovers. I truly know you better than your own Bruce ever did. I'll only ask you once. What secrets are you hiding?" He asks her with a broad smile, but she stares at him angrily, telling him that he knows nothing of her. The Batman Who Laughs nods, circling her, telling her, "I can take away your friends, burn the last of the Parliament of Trees." "Diana, don't let him!" Alec groans, still smoldering and smoking. Suddenly an arrow is launched out of the trees, and the Robins leap in front of their master, taking the explosion to no effect. "Bruce, is that you? Let me guess, you're wearing the cloak of erasure, given to us by Zatanna the time that we saved her father from Neuron. Come on, I know you." The Batman Who Laughs calls, smiling, and Batman removes the cloak from the tree line, clad in a leather trench coat and carrying a crossbow. "Nice coat! You look like someone who came to dance on my grave. Lucky for me, you don't kill!" Batman's eyes narrow. "I don't dance either, but I'd make an exception for you." The Batman Who Laughs cackles, ordering his men to kill Batman. His Justice League moves forward as more Batmen pour out of a portal. Diana tries to help her friend, but Batmage uses his powers to stop her. Baphomet wraps his tentacles around Aquaman, and the giant bats herd Harley before she can help. Yet, through it all, Batman doesn't move. "Just standing there, not fighting back!" the One Who Laughs asks. "What would the brave men and women who died say?" Batman holds up his hand, revealing the Black Lantern ring on his finger. "Just one thing. Rise!" He growls, and all around him, the deadbeats begin to crawl out of the ground. They pull free, turning their rotting heads to stare at their new master. And Batman points at the Batman Who Laughs, ordering them to attack. The zombies clash with the Dark Knights, fighting in the field. Batman turns to escape, thinking to Diana that this is how they need to fight. Street battles, small victories, but Diana tells him of a new prisoner and how they can fix everything. "Don't even think that way. It's too dangerous, too many deaths," he tells her. He hops aboard his bat bike, turning to the man holding it. "Hex, they're all yours," he tells the cowboy. "Finally, a party where I'm the pretty one," Hex whispers, joining the fight. On the bone planet of Ossex, a lone figure walks through the marrow waste when he finally stops, swinging his axe hard, breaking through the bone, and he discovers a box, wiping away the dust from the cigar in his hand. "Did you find it? It's the key to everything. Talk to me," a voice calls over the radio, and Lobo stands up smiling. "Oh, I found it. And now it's time for the main man to live up to this joint." At her prison, Diana sits before the entrance to the pit, gazing into the green smoke of the entrance. Finally, she stands up, making up her mind. She opens the gate, beginning to step through, and Alex steps forward, warning her that the Batman Who Laughs might sense this. "I'm not powerful enough to fight beside you anymore," he warns her, and Diana nods, speaking over her shoulder to her old friend. "Alec, you should run now. I can't take this darkness anymore, and I can't fight the way that Bruce wants. This has to be a way to turn it all back," she tells him, but Alec doesn't leave. "I will be here, ready to fight beside you as best as I can," he tells her. She thanks him and disappears, and in the pit, She finds the hooded figure sitting quietly in the waist. I was expecting fire and brimstone. I forgot that the 9th level is a cold wasteland, he tells her, his breath steaming in the frigid air. Is it really you, Wally West? She asks, and Wally pulls down his hood, revealing his blue costume and the Dr. Manhattan symbol on his forehead. It's me, or what's left of me, he tells her. Wally stands and Diana asks what happened. She doesn't remember how they got her, just that they fought Perpetua, and the next thing that Diana knew, Batmen were ruling the Earth. If I could erase everything that I've done, I would, Diana. I'm so tired, he tells her. Diana nods, holding her friend, telling him to take this moment and rest. They sit and Wally explains the multiverse to Diana. He tells her that there are 2 poles. For every positive energy in the multiverse, there is a negative. I have come to call it crisis energy, he tells her. Beings like Perpetua are tasked with creating multiverses. They create these worlds and they die, yet Perpetua created their multiverse using the crisis energy. One that would forever live in a self-renewing loop of its own importance. A multiverse that would prey on others, absorb them and forget them. Her kind found out what she had done, and they began our reality over, trapping her in the source wall, in the hopes that by watching our growth she would come to love us, he explains. Yet, only her rage grew. She began to whisper to those that she could, stroking their greed and anger, instigating crises. He tells her that a being known as Dr. Manhattan arrived and tried to fix their world. But it didn't have the desired effect. So the Quintessence gathered the energy and gave it to the Justice League. But Perpetua harnessed the crisis energy and they fought. I don't know what happened in that fight, only that it exhausted both forces in a powerful blast that burned away the sun. Diana questions why Perpetua will remain so powerful, and Wally tells her that the Batman Who Laughs continues to provide her energy from the dark multiverse, where the crises have endlessly happened. Maybe we can beat her at her own game, Diana suggests. Create the first anti-crisis. And the Batman Who Laughs growls from the darkness and steps out. I love that idea. If you were really smart, you'd call the 2 energies anti-crisis and direct crises. Get it? AC and DC. But go on, please. Pretend I'm not here. She steps between the Batman Who Laughs and Wally, ordering the demon to stay back. She knows that he won't kill her friends, that he won't have any way to feed Perpetua the crisis energies. And he smiles, telling her, oh, I have my own plans. Right now my knights have Swamp Thing at their mercy. You help me, you play your part, and on the other side I will honor our promise. I will give you and all the people that Perpetua holds captive a planet of your own. You will be safe. You have my word, he tells her, stepping forward. But fight me, and I will hurt your friends in ways that you can't even imagine. He smiles, seeing what she is thinking, and he tells her, you can't outthink me. Let me guess your strategy. Knock me out, dip your armor in the cauldron where the invisible jet was melted down, and suddenly you have a shield to hide behind, he tells her. His grin growing wider, but Diana shakes her head, telling him that he knows Bruce, and Bruce would have made a shield. So what, you'd make a weapon? A sword? No, I have already made it, and it wouldn't have just been a sword. She tells him, pulling out the starter on an invisible chainsaw, and it roars to life as she lashes out, cutting into the Batman Who Laughs. Batmage jumps through the portal into Castle Bat, finding the Robins waiting for him, and they crowd around the mage. Yes, he's gone. You were his favorite 3, so you should know. It's time to initiate his true plan, Batmage tells them, pressing a smiley face button, opening up a large door in the far end of the room. A being emerges from the blue light within with the symbol of hydrogen on his forehead. Groblins, prepare the body of the final Bruce Wayne. Sergeant Rock, meanwhile, is continuing to fire, still rambling about the turd burger, when Batman appears behind him, telling him that the fight is happening now. He picks up the commando, lighter since his body has been ripped in half. The big one! Sergeant Rock asks, one last fight. Everyone, together, Batman growls. And that concludes Death Metal Issue 1. Now, don't forget, if you want to see this series continue here on the channel, you want to see your favorite comic books continue, then you need to support the industry by going to the Comicsology, buying this digitally, or going to your favorite comic book store. Guys, we're coming out of a pandemic, and DC is kicking things off finally with Death Metal. And they want you to go buy it at the stores. They want you to be a part of this community. They want you to be a part of comic books. So you need to get out there and take a part of this. Comic books need your help right now. Go buy the biggest books that are out there. Be a part of this. Support the industry. If you want to know more about what's happening in Death Metal, well, we'll probably be talking about it over the course of the month, but the next issue doesn't come out until next month. So I hope you can wait that long. Subscribe to our channel, give this video a like, and don't forget to check out my Patreon, where you can get early access to your favorite comic books that we read right here. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.